I'm Anthony.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matt.
Hello, I'm David.
And so I'll just keep pretending.
Okay, so after we got back, I was excited. I was pumped for practicing and getting ready for the studio until we started with the click track, because it's just,
I have nightmares about it. I wake up in a cold sweat. Exactly right there. I feel fear in my heart right now. It's kind of like Jason, where it was like, that's what I feel like right now, like I'm about to get stabbed.
That thing had to be the most annoying piece of shit I have ever encountered in my life. Like,
Talk about driving you crazy. It's like every practice, just playing the same song over and over until it's perfect, right on the click, you know, no mistakes. And I remember when I knew it was really bad was when I was in my car one day and the turn signal was on and I started playing to my turn signal as a click track. So, you know, I was like, I think I got it from that point on. So.
It was horrible. Like, you never really realize how offbeat you are until you play with something that is never offbeat. And it just kept, like, it was there to remind you that you needed to step up your game and get on its level. But
how off we were at times. There were times when we wanted to speed up when the click stayed the same, and there were times when we slowed down when the click stayed the same. So for the most part, I mean, we learned every single area that we were incorrect in, and we had to correct it. Some of the worst times were when we'd be playing a song and it would just be like the intro of the song and we get off and we have to start all the way over. And it would take us like 30 or 40 minutes to get through one song one time without getting off to the click. But I mean, ultimately it was a very, very good thing.
I noticed myself getting a lot more tighter with the song and stuff. Like we're all like together and stuff, and we just sounded solid, which was really cool. I mean, I always thought we sounded good when we didn't have the click track, and when we started playing with the click track, and we just started sounding amazing on the song.
It's kind of like second nature. I think now in practice, without it, it's worse. I need it now.
in the Red, White, and Blue show, like we started practicing with the click. Things weren't as sharp as they needed to be, but you could tell that we were getting better and that we were meshing a little bit better with each other. Timing was getting where it needed to be.
It wasn't too long after our first show that we had to play another one. Ash is buddies with the drummer from Red, White, and Blue. I think, honestly, I don't think any of us knew how huge this was going to be until we showed up. And
like there were big cameras, there was like lighting, and they had so much stuff on the stage that we had like this little tiny box to play in, so we couldn't really move as much, but we made the best out of it. But the only thing like that kind of excited me was like when we got there, it was kind of on lockdown. Like we had security people give us passes, and you couldn't be on stage or you couldn't be backstage without passes. The gates were up, so it was like this big, like I'm a rock star feel, like a real national traveling touring band.
like I remember when Anthony took me to my first show and it was something corporate, and you know, you got the main act's drums on the actual drum stand, and you got all their amps already on stage, and every single opening band just had to kind of pile into this cramped space and play, you know, and impress this crowd.
And we should have just been going out there knowing we were going to play a solid show, but instead we were like thinking we were or hoping we were, and I was off a lot. But I mean, it was enough that we could tell.
You know, things didn't really go that great. The timings were a little shifty. My fault. I take blame for it. But
It was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure people were watching us and they were like, "Oh, look at that praise Jesus. They are trying to make beautiful music, and you know they are trying." It's like, you know how you say those high school bands that you're just like, "Oh, you're so sweet because you are playing guitar, but they're not sweet for much else." Like, I don't know. It was like at first we started off really good, and then it just got off completely annihilated Ohio Sky, and I had more than one person say, "Oh my God, Ohio Sky," gave me chills. And so to kind of hear that and know that we could have done a lot better and maybe impressed more people was kind of like a hint for the future that we need to really step up our game.
Yeah, it really opened my eyes to what we needed to do and how we needed to grow. And since that was kind of like a high-profile show, you know, they were recording their documentary there, the live show, and there were quite a few people that hadn't seen us before watching us for the first time. You know, it kind of opened my eyes to, like, we need to get, you know, our stuff together, and we need to sound like, you know, we're this national act.
All right, so from wow, that's beautiful.
Our last show before we went into hibernation, I guess. And now you're only seeing us through these videos.
That show was probably the worst hell we've gone through. We had bands say that they were gonna play. We had bands cancel, and we had trouble filling some of the spots. It was literally hell trying to get that show set up because we only had gotten it together. We did get our buddies in Vice on Victory and our buddy Noah from the Gambling District, who's played with us a few times, to come and do the show.
But as soon as that last show rolled around and I was comfortable with using the click, you know, it was amazing.
Completely amazing.
You know, on time for the most part.
That was the first show that we had played with a click track. And it wasn't broadcast for all of us to hear, but it was running through David's in-ears. So David was constantly on the click, so as long as we were following him, as we should, we were on time. And
oh man, I'll tell you what, out of all the shows I think we've played, I mean, I think that was a show that we were solid, like we were on time, everything just sounded like every click, every like hit or attack that was on the freaking drum or the ride and stuff was just on point. I mean, even after the show, people came up to us and came up to me and just told me that we sounded great, we sounded solid, we sounded like, I mean, it was probably their best show they've seen us play.
It was just a big moment for us because it was going to be, you know, the last show that, you know, we wanted to make it a good one. And so I think that focus and that drive from, you know, practicing with the click track and even using it at the show really, one, nailed the deal that the click track is a positive thing for us, and probably for any band. You know, that a click track or some sort of, you know, timing is going to be the key for music. But also that, you know, it's going to, if we can do it so well live, it's going to be so much smoother in the studio. The Spice Girl, I mean, there's.
I may have watched Spice World, but I don't think I necessarily ever picked a favorite one.
So you just go through them all.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't kick any of them out of bed because they all make up.
From the 90s. So my favorite Spice Girl was probably Posh Spice. I don't know why. She's just doing that thing where she like this, you know, and pointing at me, and I was like, do unchristian things like stuff. I probably shouldn't say that. I would do dirty stuff to you after we're married.
Take the hungry Spice.
All right, man. Scary. Yep, scary. All right. Why?